Alright, how y'all doing today? How y'all doing today? Cheryllee back here with another video. So, I like my shades, my sun shades. So, how y'all doing today? I am Cheryllee from the Everything Cheryllee brand. Little music in the background, Christina Aguilera. So, I want to say thank you for joining me. I want to thank you for joining me. Glad to see you, glad you can be here. Glad you can join me. So I am Cheryllee, from the Everything Cheryllee brand. You can find me on Instagram. Instagram is everything_Cheryllee, and TikTok at all things Cheryllee or at everything Cheryllee. YouTube, everything Cheryllee. So everything Cheryllee on all platforms. So those of you who don't know, I'm Cheryllee from right here in Washington D.C. From Washington D.C. I am a graduate of Strand University. We have campuses. Well, they have campuses in D.C., Maryland, Virginia, West Virginia, and a whole lot of places. They have over 100-something campuses now. They may have more than that, because I know when I checked last year, they had over 100-something campuses. That was last year, so they may have more by now. But I really enjoyed my time at Strand University. Yeah. So what you do, you're in college, you study hard, get the work done, listen to the teacher, read those chapters. And so I did my bachelor's in business administration now at Strand University. And then I did a degree in information systems. So bachelor's in business administration. I really enjoyed that program because my teacher would always tell us, one of my teachers anyway, he always wanted us to, he said, keep up with your research. Keep up with the trends in the market when it comes to technology. So we had to always bring, he would always have us bring new technology devices, not the whole device, but you look it up, you do your research, and bring the name of the technology device, what it does, how important it is to bring that information into your organization. So that's my major was information systems. So he wanted us to keep up with the trends in the market as far as technology was concerned. What technology devices is this company right here using? What technology devices is this company right here using? So, and what technology devices is this company over here using? So, keep up with the technology trends in the market. So, there's so many different technology devices that you can use to bring that information in. But my major was information systems. It wasn't, because they also have a major called computer information systems. Computer information systems and information technology. So information systems in my degree, so it's 3 different ones. Information systems, technology, information technology, and computer information systems. So it's 3. So in information systems, you really don't have to use technology to bring information in. Information can be, you can do research online. Write down, you're doing research online, you write down information. That's information right there. That's the information right there you can bring in your company. But then when you are using a computer to bring information in, they call it computer information system. Then we use the same thing. We use technology, information technology. Using technology to bring that information into your organization, because without that information, managers can't make the vital decisions that they need to make. You're the CEO of a company, or you were working for a business or a company. Information. All businesses need information coming in. So how they bring that information into their organization will be up to them. So you need information, you need a strategy. Those 2 most important things when you're running a business. You need a strategy, you need a business strategy, marketing strategy, advertising strategy, So you do marketing, advertising, promoting strategy, whatever strategy you think you need to keep your company running smooth. Yeah, that's what you do. I mean, I guess everybody has certain protocols that they go about, that they go, along with. They have a protocol that they follow, of course, setting up a strategy or going, carrying the, I would say implementing the strategy. You want to implement the strategy over here, you might have a certain way that you do that, which would be your system. You could call that a system, because see, information systems. Yes, you have a system for this, a system for that, a system for this. A system is just basically how you do a thing, how you want to do it. What is your plan for accomplishing that particular goal? Like, when you go to DMV, I know when I go to my DMV office right over here in DC, they have a system set up where you walk to the desk and they ask you, you walk to the desk, the front desk, they ask you, what can I help you with? That's part of your system. What can I help you with? And you tell them what you're there for, then they give you a number. They give you a number, you go sit down. That's part of the system. It's part of the system set up. You walk over there, and they ask you what are you there for, and you say blah 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 blah. I came to renew my driver's license. I came to renew my tags. Whatever you came for, new Social Security. I don't think you get a Social Security card over there, but you can get your driver's license, or you come to take the road test. It's a system set up. Everything is they probably have a separate system set up for when you're going over there to take the road test. But just, touch base a little bit on that. Systems, information systems, because that's what I studied at Australian University. And I like that major. It was pretty good. So in other words, information systems. We also learned about creating a simulation model. In other words, you have a system. Say for instance, like I was just talking about the system for, when you go to DMV, they have a certain system set up. You walk to the desk, you tell them what you're there for, they give you a number, you sit down, and when they call your number, when they call your number, actually they call your number, they call your number, but it's still, if they have different booths, they have different booths up here at the top with the numbers, your number will show up. They call your number, but it's going to light up, and that's part of the system. So when that number light up, they might say, F21, report to booth 5. So that's part of the system they have set up. So they can get the customers in, get them in, get them out. They say F21, F25, report to booth such and such. Report to that booth, take care of your business, and you out the door. So that's what they call a system. So a lot of times when you go places, me too, when we go places, we be wondering, why they do things like this? Things are running so slow. Why would you do it like this? That's because the system for that company has already been set up. You can't just walk in there and if you have a problem with the way they're doing things, you can't, because the system is already set up for how they carry out their day-to-day processes. They already have a certain system for this set up, a certain system for this set up, a certain system for this. And like I was talking about the simulation model. Simulation model, in other words, before you create your real system of how you want to do things, you have a simulation model of how you want that real system to operate. So just like the DMV system I was just talking about, they may have done a simulation model before they actually went with that particular system, the way they had it set up. And you come in there, trying to get the customers in and get the customers out. So the simulation model is just a model of the real system. That way you study in that model, in that simulation model, you will study the real system. How you want it's basically like an artificial system. You study in that real system to see if it has any bugs in it, see if it's, it's going to be carried out. You want it You want to check it, you know, for bugs, for problems, and all that before you actually build it, before you actually use that simulation model for your real system. You know, so you want to make sure it's working properly. So you want to make sure it's working properly. So that is what they call a simulation model. So that was a pretty good course I took too. I took that, computer programming, managerial accounting. I think I took managerial accounting. I think I took that in my bachelor. That was part of my bachelor's program in business administration. So, yeah, so like I said, I usually talk about, marketing, advertising, promoting, marketing channels, target markets, where is your target market, who are you going to target, where are your customers at, where is your target market. A lot of people, some people are not on social media, so you have to definitely find out where your target market is, because how are you going to get people to purchase? If you're running a company, say for instance you have a boutique, and you're offering jeans and Nike t-shirts and all different color socks, different types of socks, like your Nike socks, Adidas socks, plain white socks, dress socks. You have in your little boutique, you have all those types of socks. You have ladies jeans, men's jeans, jeans for children. So if you have a physical location, then you stand a chance of anybody, may walk in your business from time to time. But if you're online, you still may have customers that's online, but then you have to market your business, you have to advertise your business, you have to promote. How you going to draw people into your website? All that requires a strategy. You can have your business cards printed up. You can post them around town and hand them out to friends. Tell your friends to hand them out to their friends, and then hand them out to their friends. So that would be good if you had the opportunity to put your business on a billboard or something like that. When people going down the highway, they can see your business logo, your business name, and everything that you offer, right? Like on a big old billboard. I mean, that would be a good marketing strategy. That's one strategy. Like I said, business cards, thank you cards, postcards, website. Website should not be the only way that you are marketing, advertising, and promoting your business, because everybody's not gonna load up their internet or their computer, right? Go on the internet and say, "Well, let me find everything Cheryllee." Let me type in. I want to go to everything Cheryllee's website, see what she offering in her business. Everybody's not gonna do that, and really nobody's not gonna do it anyway. They don't know about me. If I don't have some type of strategy that I could use to get my business out there, my brand, how am I going to let people know about my brand? You can't depend on your family, cousin, and your family. They may help you out a little bit, but you can't really depend on them, because you have to, you want to go global. You want to go international if you can. How are you going to get, basically find a strategy, implement your strategy, create your strategy. I want to go global. I want to go international. I want to market my products and my brand in every state, all 50 states. Man, just imagine if you are marketing, you running a business and you're marketing your products and your services in all 50 states. 50 states. So it's 50 states because they always say, well, we got 52 states now, but Alaska and Hawaii are not states. So I would say 50. So that's how it is. That's how, things that I talk about these are the things that, I guess I would call them my insight on things. When I explain stuff, when I explain different terms, the way I explain them, it goes according to, what I learned over the years, what I learned when I was in school. Sometimes I learn from other people, People talk, I listen. Sometimes when people talk, you listen. You can always learn. Nothing wrong. No matter how old you get, no matter how young you are, you can always learn. I learn from people younger than me, people older than me, people my age. So the learning process never stops. So like I said, with marketing, advertising and promoting your business, getting those products and services out to your customers and target market. So strategy for that, marketing strategy, business strategy, all kinds of strategies you need. Target market strategy, and also once you are in business and your business is running smooth, you're still keeping up with total quality management, continuous improvement. You want to be innovative, creative. So total quality management, you're looking at all processes and all departments within your business and make sure they're all running smoothly and make sure they all have the make sure they all are going to be able to produce quality products and services. So all your departments, you want quality in all departments. Quality in your human resources department, quality in you might have a target market department, you might have a, whatever department you have, depending on what type of business you're running. You want quality in every aspect of your business. So you want quality, so that those quality products and those quality services trickles down to the customer. You can't have a business and you don't have no type of quality. Your products are not, your products are not quality. Your services are not quality. Because that is what is going to hold you back as far as keeping your customers coming back. So, say for instance, you're marketing jeans. You're marketing jeans like, what kind of jeans you're marketing, but you want quality. You want quality material. You want quality products. You want quality services. You want your products, your jeans at a fair price. Fair price, good location, because you want that customer value. You want to offer value to your customer. You want to offer great customer service. You want to have just products that satisfy the customer. Customer satisfaction. You want to be able to outcompete your competitors. So in other words, you have, say for instance, you're marketing jeans, like I said, there's another company, two or three blocks from you, selling the same type of jeans you're selling. So what would make the customer, what do you think would make the customer keep coming back to you or even come into you instead of going around into the other company because they selling the same thing you're selling? So what can you do in your business? So you sit down, that's what I'm saying, you need a strategy. You need a strategy for that too. You need a strategy for every aspect of your business. All departments of your business, Marketing strategy, promotion strategy, marketing, advertising, and promoting strategy for all three of those. Customer value strategy, strategy that can, pull in those customers. Like I said, target market strategy, and then also you can also have more than one target market. You can also have more than one target market. There's nothing wrong with that. Say for instance, you're marketing jeans. If you're marketing jeans, you might want jeans for men, women, and children. And that would be three different target markets. I want to target men, I want to target women, I want to target children. But I guess children, when they come in, they don't have to, their parents probably will come purchase for them, but you still have a children's line, a line for men. Every time I get to talking, when I do my videos, my nose starts getting stuffy. I don't know, but I try to have me something cold to drink, or something hot or something cold. Sometimes something hot depends. Something hot, but a little Janet Jackson in the background. So I didn't want to get too far up in the business. Actually, today I wanted to read a few quotes off that I have off from a few people that I did some research on. But business is to me. I know my husband. When I first started doing before I started going straight, I was studying office administration up at the University of the District of Columbia in Washington, D.C. Big university. But I was studying office administration, and my husband was like, "Nah, you should be doing business administration." So I don't know if the University of the District of Columbia had business administration, but I transferred. I transferred from the University of the District of Columbia to Strayer University, and that's why I studied business administration. Because I guess he felt that business was broad. Yeah, I'm doing my video right now. I'll see you later. All right, hold on. What's up, man? I'm doing my video. All right, yeah. So little Janet Jackson in the background. Okay, so the son who will walk through my video. So, okay, I was going to read a few little quotes. Um, some quotes from, I never heard of this gentleman right here, but Arthur Rubinstein. I have found that if you love life, life will love you back. That sounds good. So, Arthur Rubinstein, he said he found that if you love life, life will love you back. So, I can kind of agree with that because if you love life, 9 times out of 10, you're going to do a lot of things in life to make you happy. You love life, life will love you back. So, you love life, you're going about, you maybe went to college, maybe you wanted, you got married, you're raising a family, and, you got a pretty good job, and you got good friends, and you're out having a good time. You're just doing things, you're doing things I guess, to show. You're doing things in your life to show that you love life, You partying sometimes, you got married, you had children, and you have pretty good friends. Sometimes you get with them and you have a good time with your friends. I mean, your friends, you're just doing things. So in other words, he's saying he found that if you love life, life will love you back. So doing some good things in life. You're not out there running the streets and hurting people, robbing people, stealing from people, and you're not doing none of that. You're not doing none of those hateful things. You're doing a lot of things to make it seem like you love life. Life will love you back. Blessings to come back to you. Then we have Grandma Moses. Life is what we make it, always has been, and always will be. Life is what you make it. Life is what you make it. You out there stealing and robbing and doing all those negative things. That's gonna be the type of life that you're making. Say life is what you make it. When you're doing good things, you have a good life. 9 times out of 10, you go to school, you're nice, you're not hurting nobody. You go to school, you finish high school. You don't necessarily have to go to college, but you're a nice person. You're a nice person, you're doing things for people, and you're good to your family's good to you, and you're working, you're making money, paying your bills. You just, doing good things. You're doing good things in life. Life is what you make it. But if you go out there and you're doing all this rough stuff in life, it ain't gonna be so good. Mark Twain, good friends, good books, and a sleepy conscience. This is the ideal life. That's what I'm saying, all of them related. Good friends, good books, and a sleepy conscience. This is the ideal life. So good books you can, I feel the same way. Good books you can learn. You can comprehend, you can learn, and also, when you read, you can teach someone else something. You can teach someone else. You can show someone else the things that you learned from the books that you read. Good friends, good books, and a sleepy conscience. So I guess a sleepy conscience would be, to me, that seems like a calmer person. A sleepy conscience. Your conscience is not on overload and you're not worried about a whole lot of things. Your conscience is sleepy. It's mellow. It's calmed down. So he said, a sleepy, good friends, good books, and a sleepy conscience. This is an ideal life. So that's Mark Twain. Then we have Eminem, the rapper. The truth is, you don't know what it is. You don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. Life is a crazy ride, and nothing is guaranteed. That's true. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Life is a crazy ride. Life is a crazy ride. God bless you. Yeah, so life is a crazy ride. Like this COVID-19 stuff, this is the craziest ride we ever had. The craziest ride we ever had. So then we had the Buddha. Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. Right, don't dwell in the future because sometimes a lot of us, we have a lot of bad stuff that happened in the past, or not even that. A lot of times in the past, some people had the chance to go to college but didn't go. Some people had a chance to go to college but didn't go. Right before, really. Some people had a chance to go to college but didn't go. So do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate your mind on the present moment. Concentrate on the present moment. Concentrate on the present moment. Present moment. Think about what you're going to do now. Don't worry about all that negative stuff that happened in the past, or missed opportunities, missed jobs, missed friendships, missed love affairs, whatever you really, whatever you missed in the past. Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. You don't dream of the future. Concentrate on the moment. What are you going to do for this moment? What are your plans for this moment? Live in the moment. I've heard people say, yeah, live in the moment. We can't plan life. All we can do is be available for it. That's Lauryn Hill. So, the singer Lauryn Hill, we can't plan life. All we can do is be available for it. That's all we can do. Be available for whatever comes our way. Because, so many things come your way. So many things come your way. Negative things come our way. Positive things come our way. So, all thing we do is be available for it. That's Lauryn Hill. Then we have John Locke. John Locke, the English philosopher and physician, widely regarded as one of the most influential of Enlightenment thinkers and commonly known as the father of liberalism. John Locke, the only defense against the world is a thorough knowledge of it. Only defense, I guess that he means defense. Only defense against the world is a thorough knowledge of it. So, in other words, as you go along, you learn things from other people. You might learn from your teacher when you were in college and when you were in high school. But he says the only defense against the world is a thorough knowledge of it. So make yourself knowledgeable about the world. And I guess as you get older, even from infancy to the teenage years to your adult years, you learn so many things as you go along. So that's as you go along, you're gaining knowledge. You're gaining knowledge from the world around you. People that you be around, all your experiences that you experience coming up as you get older. So that's John Locke. Also, John Locke says, no man's knowledge here can go beyond his experience. No man's knowledge here can go beyond his experience. No man's knowledge here can go beyond his experience. So I guess if you have knowledge about a certain thing, I guess you would have the same experience that I guess is tied to the knowledge. The experience and the knowledge is tied to one another. So I guess that's what he's saying. And it says, what worries you masters you, this John Locke. What worries you masters you. So I guess what he's saying is, masters you means makes you, I guess it makes you better. In other words, if you're worried about something, you're thinking about it, it's mastering you all the time. Because if you're worried about it, then you know, it's something that you know. You know something about that particular subject. It's on your mind. It's worrying you. So what he's saying is, it masters you. So say for instance, you're worried about going to college, or you're worried about having a family, or having kids, or you're worried about meeting your children for the first time. You know, when you worry about that, it's going to master you on that particular subject. And it says, John Locke, one more, it says, all wealth is the product of labor. So in other words, he says that the wealth, he did write a book called The Wealth of Nations. So in other words, a country's wealth is its labor force. So that's what he feels is the wealth of a country, the labor force. So, and another one from John Locke. All mankind being all equal and independent. No one ought to harm another in his life, health, liberty, or possessions. Yep. All mankind being all equal and independent. He was the one, John Locke and Hobbes. John Locke and Hobbes, they were the ones that talked about that social contract. And I did in my previous video about the social contract with government. So they feel that you should have a social contract with government. That way, you know, it's irreversible, and then you can't get out of it. So in other words, you have basically orderly conduct. You sign a contract stating that you're gonna be orderly. You're not gonna cause no trouble, no confusion. So that's in the contract. Contract against government. So that was Thomas Hobbes and John Locke. So Thomas Hobbes, leisure is the mother of philosophy. Leisure is the mother of philosophy. So I guess he means leisure, like you're not working, but you're just relaxing. Your leisure time, you're just relaxing, you're enjoying yourself. And leisure is the mother of philosophy. So I guess philosophy, to philosophize, that means to explain something, give your views on it, talk about it, like Socrates. One of his philosophies is, he said, the unexamined life is not worth living. He also said wisdom, you are wise when you know that you know nothing. And so that is one of his philosophies. So, mother of philosophy. Leisure is the mother of philosophy. Thomas Hobbes. So I guess if you're relaxing, you're able to philosophize about relaxing. It's the mother of, so in other words, the mother of philosophy, that's like, the mother of philosophy is like the most important part of, philosophy. Leisure. So I guess when you're relaxing, you can relax more, you're able to think better. When you're relaxing your leisure, you're relaxing more, you can think better. And so in other words, he felt that in your leisure, that's the mother of philosophy. That's my explanation, because I feel if you're relaxing yourself, your mind probably can, you're relaxing yourself in your leisure time. You're able to relax your mind. You're able to think better. You can concentrate. Your thoughts, a lot of times, better thoughts come in your mind when you're relaxing, when you're calm. When you're all anxious and can't really get your thoughts together. And then we have Thomas Hobbes, curiosity is the lust of the mind. Curiosity is the lust of the mind. So when you're curious about this and that and this and that, that's probably working your mind, curiosity. You're curious about this, you're curious about that. So, when you're lusting in relationships, So I guess you would kind of almost can see the opposite. So it is not wisdom but authority that makes a law. And that's Thomas Hobbes. It's not wisdom but authority that makes a law. Thomas Hobbes. So in other words, it's not. You don't have to be wise. You don't have to be wise to make the law, but it comes from authority. So it comes from authority. A person that's in authority, the person that is in the authority, those are the ones that do make the laws. So, the courts and the judges, Congress and your judges make the laws. The real tragedy, this is Adam Smith, the real tragedy of the poor is the poverty of their aspirations. So the real tragedy of the poor is the poverty. The real tragedy of the poor is the poverty of their aspirations. The real tragedy of the poor is the poverty of their aspirations. I guess most poor people, I guess, don't have, they may have aspirations, so I guess he's saying that the real tragedy of the poor is the poverty of their aspirations. So I guess the poverty of their aspirations, maybe to me it seems like they might not have many aspirations. Poverty of their aspirations. So to me, they might not have as many aspirations as someone else that's wealthier. See, the real tragedy of the poor is the poverty of their aspirations. So it seems like to me that their aspirations may be limited because they, at that poverty level. And then we got the book, The Wealth of Nations. That's by Adam Smith. There is no art which one government sooner learns of another than that of draining money from the pocket of the people. No art which one government sooner learns of another than that of draining money from the pocket of the people. Well, back in the day when Adam Smith and a lot of these gentlemen, we were nowhere to be thought of when these gentlemen were around. But so this is just a little bit of information, that was in his book, The Wealth of Nations. There's no art. So he dealt with a lot of, talking about a lot of things about the government. Like I said, that social contract. And then we have another important part of his book. I guess I would say another important part that was mentioned in his book. Importance of free markets, assembly line production, methods and gross domestic product form the basis for theories of classical economics. So your gross domestic product, those are all your goods and services, all the goods and services added up for that particular country. So the importance of free markets, assembly line production methods, and gross domestic product. That's just some of the stuff that talked about in his book. And then we have nothing is more graceful than a habitual cheerfulness. So that was another quote by Adam Smith. Nothing is more graceful than habitual cheerfulness. So graceful is something that I guess graceful is something that flows across nicely, beautifully, So it said nothing is more graceful than habitual cheerfulness. So basically, if it's cheerful, if it's graceful and cheerful, they seem like they will go together. Cheerfulness. Nothing is more graceful than habitual cheerfulness. So habitual means like a habit. So you have a habit of being graceful and cheerfulness. You're full of cheer. It's a habit. It's habit forming to be cheerful. Then we have Adam Smith, mercy to the guilty is cruelty to the innocent. Mercy to the guilty is cruelty to the innocent. Right. So in other words, somebody guilty and you giving them a pat on the back. They're guilty, but you giving them a pat on the back. But then the innocent people, they get a punch in the back. You know what I'm saying? So mercy to the guilty is cruelty to the innocent. So you're treating the guilty, giving them a pat on the back, but the innocent, you're giving them a punch in the back. So you're being harder on the innocent than you are on the guilty. And then we have another one from Adam Smith. The division of labor was limited by the extent of the market. Adam Smith. We also have our great composer, Beethoven, a German composer and pianist. There was Beethoven. Beethoven's music is a mediator between the spiritual and the sensual life. Music is a mediator between the spiritual and the sensual life. That's Beethoven. And we also have Beethoven. To play a wrong note is insignificant. To play without passion is inexcusable. Music should strike fire from the heart of man and bring tears from the eyes of a woman. See, that music, like they said, calms the savage beast. Music is a thing that sometimes you have a bad day. Sometimes you sit down, sometimes I like to just sit down or be to myself sometimes and just listen to some good music. Eat me a salad or something like that. Glass of water, a glass of juice. Salad or something nice to drink, some water or juice or milk or whatever I want to drink. I usually drink my little Lala smoothies or yogurt smoothies and my salad and sit back and listen to some good music. So I don't have no problem with that. So Beethoven, most of the people that's into music, that's what they would say. They would love. They would say things like that because music is their passion. Guitar players, people that play the drums, singers, and Beethoven, and Mozart, Beethoven, different ones that were interested in music. Sometimes they can sit on, people like us. I love music too. I can just sit down all day and listen to music, good music. It says to play without passion is inexcusable. To play a wrong note is insignificant. Music should strike fire from the heart of man and bring tears to the woman. And then it says, we can go with Beethoven. The guitar is a miniature orchestra in itself. The guitar, just talking about the guitar. The guitar is a miniature orchestra in itself. So in other words, if you're saying that, then that means that's all you need is a guitar. You wanna use a small. You want to use a guitar, and you can say that guitar is. He said it was a mini. It was a miniature orchestra. So basically, an orchestra has a lot of I guess I would say instruments in the orchestra. But so what he's saying is, you can just have a guitar. And that would be a miniature orchestra. That would be That would be the only instrument that you would need to get the sound that you want. So I have like 3 guitars myself. So that was the last one. So just some quotes that I wanted to read that I looked up. Also, I purchased this book some time ago, but I never really finished reading it. Becoming New York bestseller. Michelle Obama, but I'm not going to get into this right now. So Becoming, this some of her pictures when she was younger. So that's Becoming, but I'm not going to get into that book right now, maybe next time. But I wanted to get into this book here, Becoming a critically reflective teacher. So this is the book that I had when I was in This is a book that I had when I was studying at, actually I took another one, then I took an online course called, I think the program was called, Organization and Management. Yeah, that's what it was. organization and management. That was a program, Capella University. But I didn't finish, but I did enjoy some of the courses. But this says, look, what it means to be a critically reflective teacher. So in other words, I look at, before I get into the book, I look at being reflective, in my opinion, reflective means looking back. If you're reflective, you're looking back on things that you've been through in your life. You want to reflect back. I like to reflect back on the good things that happened in my life. Critically reflective. So critical thinking, critically reflective. You're looking back on things that you've been through in your life. So it says what it means to be critically reflective. We teach to change the world. The hope that undergirds our efforts to help students learn is that doing this will help them act toward each other and toward the environment with compassion, understanding, and fairness. But our attempts to increase the amount of love and justice in the world are never simple, never unambiguous. What we think are democratic, respectful ways of treating people can be experienced by them as oppressive and constraining. One of the hardest things teachers have to learn is that the sincerity of their intentions does not guarantee the purity of their practice. The cultural, psychological, political complexities of learning and the ways in which power complicates all human relationships, um, including those between students and teachers, mean that teaching can never be innocent. Teaching innocently means thinking that we're always understanding exactly what it is that we're doing and what effect we're having. Teaching innocently means assuming that the meanings and significance we place on our actions are the ones that students take from them. At best, teaching this way is naive. At worst, it induces pessimism, guilt, and lethargy. Since we never had full awareness of our motives and intentions, and since we frequently misread how others perceive our actions, an uncritical stance toward our practice sets us up for a lifetime of frustration. Nothing seems to work out as it should. Our continuing inability to control what looks like chaos becomes to our eyes evidence of our incompetence. The need to break this vicious circle of innocence and blame is one reason why the habit of critical reflection is crucial for teachers' survival. Without a critically reflective stance toward what we do, we tend to accept the blame for problems that are not of our own making. We think that all resistance to learning displayed by students is caused by our own insensitivity, or unpreparedness. We read poor evaluations of our teaching and immediately conclude that we're hopeless failures. We become depressed when ways of behaving towards students and colleagues that we think are democratic and respectful are interpreted as aloof or manipulative. A critically reflective stance toward our teaching helps us avoid these traps of demoralization and self-laceration. It might not win us easy promotion or bring us lots of friends, but it does enormously increase the chance that we will survive in the classroom with enough energy and sense of purpose to have some real effect on those we teach. So being critically reflective. Reflection is hunting assumptions. I'm not going to read the whole book, but there's a few little things. Critical reflection is one particular aspect of the larger process of reflection. To understand critical reflection properly, we need first to know something about the reflective process in general. Assumptions are the taken for granted beliefs about the world and our place within it that seem so obviously to us as not to need stating explicitly. In many ways, we are our assumptions. Assumptions give meaning and purpose to who we are and what we do. So your assumptions give, when you assume this about that person and you assume, you're making assumptions Sometimes we make assumptions about people we don't need to be right. You might assume that he messing around with his wife, or he don't love his wife, or his wife doesn't love him, or she don't have a job. But sometimes you make the wrong assumption, even in the neighborhood, So in many ways, we are our assumptions. Assumptions give meaning and purpose to who we are and what we do. It is also something we instinctively resist for fear of what we might discover. It says, who wants to clarify and question assumptions she or he has lived by for a substantial period of time? It says, only to find that they don't make sense. What makes the process of assumption hunting particularly complicated is that assumptions are not all of the same character. I find it useful to distinguish between three broad categories of assumptions: paradigmatic, prescriptive, and casual. Paradigmatic assumptions are the hardest of the three kinds to uncover. It says they are the basic structuring axioms we use to order the world into fundamental categories. We may not recognize them as assumptions even after they've been pointed out to us. Instead, we insist that they're objectively valid renderings of reality, the facts we know to be true. Some paradigmatic assumptions I have held at different stages of my life as a teacher are that adults are self-directed learners, that critical thinking is an intellectual function characteristic of adult life, that good adult educational processes are inherently democratic, and that education always has a political dimension. See what she said? She said that some paradigmatic assumptions I have held at different stages of my life. So those are the assumptions that she held. She said these are some of the assumptions that I held some point in time in my life. So she assumed that adults are self-directed learners. She assumed that critical thinking is an intellectual function, characteristic of adult life. That don't mean all adults. That doesn't mean that all adults are directed learners. And that good adult educational processes are inherently democratic, not necessarily. So those are her assumptions. And that education always has a political dimension. Education does not always have a political dimension, not in my book. But those are her assumptions. Paradigmatic assumptions are examined critically only after a great deal of resistance to doing so, and it takes a considerable amount of contrary evidence and disconforming experiences to change them. But when they are challenged and changed, the consequences for our lives are explosive. Prescriptive assumptions, and then we have casual assumptions. Prescriptive assumptions are assumptions about what we think ought to be happening in a particular situation. Then we have the casual assumption, help us understand how different parts of the world work and the conditions under which processes can be changed. That's the casual assumption, so I'm not going to read everything, but I was just trying to find some important. Look, what makes reflection critical? One of the consequences of a concept's popularity is an increased malleability in its meaning. As interest in reflective practice has widened, so have the interpretations given to it. So then we have critical reflection as the illumination of power. The teacher has a fly on the wall. Teachers at one with students. Teachers committed to working democratically often declare their at oneness with students, believing themselves and their students to be moral equals. They like to say to them, "I'm no different from you, so treat me as your equal." Act as if I wasn't a teacher, but a friend. The fact that there's temporary imbalance between us in the terms of how much I know about this subject is really an accident. We're co-learners and co-teachers, you and I. However, culturally learned habits of reliance on or hostility toward authority figures, especially those from the dominant culture, cannot so easily be broken. So just some different how different topics in, in the paragraph. So, when you come to, important points, important paragraphs that I'll try to pick out. Let's see what else they have. Critically reflective. Uh, why is critical reflection? Why is critical reflection important? Given that critical reflection entails all kinds of risks and complexity, there have to be some compelling reason why anyone would choose to begin the critical journey. Few of us are likely to initiate a project that promises enlightenment only at the cost of torture. The choice to become critically reflective will be made only if we see clearly that it is in our own best interest. Otherwise, given the already overcrowded nature of our lives, why should we bother to take this activity seriously? I believe there are 6 reasons why learning critical reflection is important. 6 reasons why learning critical reflective is important. Number 1, it helps us to take informed actions. It helps us develop a rationale for practice. It helps us avoid self-laceration. It grounds us emotionally. It enlivens our classrooms. It increases democratic trust. Teachers who have learned the reflective habit know something about the effects that they are having on students. They are alert to the presence of power in the classroom and to its potential for misuse. Knowing that their actions can silence or activate students' voices, they listen seriously and attentively to what students say. So in other words, you're being critically reflective, you're reflecting back on, I guess what they're saying, some of the points in this chapter is that if they put the students in their position, in other words, put the students in the teacher's shoes, and teachers are in the student's shoes so they can see what things have the students been through. What things have the students been through that their teacher might not have been through? So their student can reflect back on those experiences that they had, the students. The students can reflect back on the experiences they had because they are the ones that experience it. But if the teacher put herself in the student's shoes and students, are then replaced in the teacher's shoes and they can reflect back on what the teacher has been through, then sometimes you have a different thought. If you've been through what I've been through, then you might not, then you may feel the way I feel. But in other words, that's why some people, when you, that's what I think the point that they were trying to get across in this chapter. In other words, you may run across people in your life and you be wondering why they act a certain way. They act a certain way because of things that they've been through. They can reflect back on what they've been through, but can you reflect back on what they've been through? No, you can't. So you wonder, why they act like this? Why they do this? They so mean, they blah, blah, blah. Because sometimes the things that they've been through in their life. Can you reflect back on what they've been through? No, you couldn't reflect back. But you might, if they tell you about what they've been through or why they acting this way, then you can probably reflect back and you can think about it. You say, wow, they've been through this. I never been through that. So that's what I think the point they were trying to get across with this chapter. Being reflective, reflecting back on something that someone else been through. That would be something else. Some people been through abuse, some people have been to jail. Just think if you had to reflect back on what they've been through. You reflecting back on that, you can think about, wow, some people wouldn't have made it, to have to reflect back on some other things that some things that someone else had been through. So that's what they're trying to say. The teacher reflects back on what the student's been through. So what how would she explain it through her eyes? You know, I'm reflecting back on what you've been through. You reflecting back on what I've been through. So how can I explain it as I see it? I may explain it a different way. It might affect me a different way than it affected you. So it says, as the chapter has shown, critical reflection is inherently ideological. It is also morally grounded. It springs from a concern to create the conditions under which people can learn to love one another, and it alerts them to the forces that prevent this. Being anchored in values of justice, fairness, and compassion, critical reflection finds its political representation in the democratic process. Since it is difficult to show love to others when we are divided, it is difficult to show love to somebody when you're divided, suspicious and scrambling for advantage, critical reflection urges us to create conditions under which each person is respected, valued, and heard. In pedagogic terms, this means the creation of democratic classrooms. In terms of professional development, it means an engagement in critical conversation. The rest of this book explores how both these projects can be realized. So this is like a pretty good book. So becoming a critically reflective teacher, becoming critically reflective. Okay, it says attempting to become aware of our assumptions is a puzzling and contradictory task. Very few of us can get very far doing this on our own, no matter how much we may think we have an accurate sense of ourselves. We are we are stymied by the fact that we're using our own interpretive filters to become aware of our own interpretive filters. Okay, it says four critically reflective lenses. When we embark on this journey, we have available four lenses through which we can view our teaching. These lenses are represented by the four arrows. Number one, we have, number one is our autobiographies as teachers and learners, our students' eyes, as I was saying. So you're seeing things through your students' eyes, the autobiography, our colleagues' experiences. So, in other words, you're being critically reflective. How do you view things? I guess about your students and your colleagues. How is it viewed through your eyes? So it says they are number one, autobiographies as teachers and learners, our students' eyes, colleagues' experiences, and number four, theoretical literature. Viewing what we do through these different lenses alerts us to distorted or incomplete aspects of our assumptions that need further investigation. Okay, our autobiographies as learners and teachers. Consulting our autobiographies as learners puts us in the role of other. We see our practice from the other side of the mirror. See your practice from the other side of the mirror. In other words, you're seeing your practice from the other side of the mirror. So on the other side of the mirror, you're seeing it from someone. You're seeing it based on someone else's eyes. So it says we see our practice from the other side of the mirror, and we become viscerally connected to what our own students are experiencing. Investigating our autobiographies as teachers is often the first step on a critical path. Through personal self-reflection, we become aware of the paradigmatic assumptions and instinctive reasonings that frame how we work. When we know what these are, we can start to test their accuracy and validity through conversations with students, colleagues, and books. Our students' eyes, seeing ourselves as students, see us, see us makes us aware of those actions and assumptions that either confirm or challenge existing power relationships in the classroom. They also help us check whether students take from our practice the meanings that we intend, our colleagues' experiences. So you're seeing yourself, so basically it's saying, if you're a teacher, or how do you see yourself in your students' eyes? How do you see yourself through your colleagues' experiences? And how do you see yourself through theoretical literature? It says our colleagues' experiences. By inviting colleagues to watch what we do, inviting colleagues to watch what we do. Your colleagues, your co-workers, I guess those are your colleagues, your co-workers, inviting those to see what we do, or by engaging in critical conversations with them. We can notice aspects of our practice that are normally hidden from us as they describe their readings of and responses to situations that we face. We see our practice in a new light. So in other words, uh, when the teachers look at their practice and the things that they go through while they are a teacher, and then I guess is a different thing to see someone else let you know what they think from their view, from their lenses, what they think about what you've been through. So the teachers are saying that that's why I'm saying by inviting colleagues to watch what we do. So the colleagues are watching what the co-workers are watching what the teachers do. And then they're letting you see how they perceive things, how they feel things, how they're looking at things through their eyes, as opposed to the teacher's assumptions. Now you're looking at the colleagues' assumptions. So it says, inviting our colleagues to watch what we do, by engaging in critical conversations. So they might not feel the same way. In other words, you have something, the teacher's talking about something, but she said what she said, she learned what she learned about the situation, then she's explaining it to her coworkers, and then to see how they, how they perceive, how they learned what she explained to them, in other words, this conversation that she had with her colleagues, how do they see it? How do they visualize it? Coming out of their lenses, not your particular eyes, but basically lenses mean how you see a thing. This person might see a thing differently. In other words, if you go down the street and you see a car accident, one person might view it one way, another person might view it another way from what they saw. This person might have understood things differently from that person, different lenses. So it says, as they describe their readings and responses to situations that we face, we see our practice in a new light. So in other words, the teachers experiencing one thing, but then when somebody else look at what you had a conversation with them, the teacher had a conversation with the colleagues and the students about what they experienced. So then when they give their opinions about it, it might be different. It says theoretical literature can provide multiple interpretations of familiar but impenetrable situations. It can help us understand our experience by naming it in different ways. So by illuminating generic aspects of what we thought were idiosyncratic events and processes. So in other words, if the teacher experienced the teacher may be, so in other words, they're saying that the teacher had experienced some things, then she had a conversation with her students and her colleagues and her co-workers, and then when they begin to explain, the teacher's experiences, then the teacher said, well, hey, we see our job, we see things in a whole new light now, because the way you explained it, I didn't see it that way. So that's what they're saying. So assumptions, you got the students' assumptions, theory, autobiography, colleagues, and then you have the assumptions, you have the casual, prescriptive, and paradigmatic. Our autobiographies as learners and teachers. So in other words, you're a teacher and you're also a learner. You're learning, you're in a classroom, you're teaching, you're learning from your students learning from you. You're being critically reflective. You're talking to the students and your colleagues about experiences you've been through. And then when they explain back to you, when you explain to them, then they explain back to you, their perception of what you told them about your experiences may be different. Then you begin to see your job and yourself in a whole new light. I mean, that could go around. I mean, this is a good book right here. This is so good. This is real good. Becoming a critically reflective teacher. So I never thought, I mean, I thought about this because I did take the class, but just try it, try it. I guess we do it all the time. We do it all the time, and we don't even, we don't even really pay attention to it. A lot of times we sit around talking, we telling people things that we've been through, experiences that we had in life, and then when you're sitting around talking, you're telling people your experiences. You're sitting around talking, you're eating, you're drinking, you're having fun. You tell people, oh, I've been through this, I did this, and blah blah blah, and then they probably see, they can then ask them to explain themselves to say, what do you think about what I told you about what I've been through, what I experienced? You learn from me, I learn from you. So when they explain it, nine times out of 10, they're going to probably say, I didn't see it that way, blah, 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 blah. But they may not have seen it the way you see it, you know. Then if they explain it different, I didn't see it that way, the way you explained it, but I didn't see it the way but sometimes it makes you learn. You're like, well, you ain't see it that way, that's the way I saw it. you know. Analyzing our autobiographies as learners has important implications for how we teach. Our experiences as learners felt at a visceral, emotional level that is much deeper than that of reason. They certainly affect us more powerfully than methods or injunctions that we learn from textbooks or hear from superiors. It says, we may think we're teaching according to a widely accepted curricula or pedagogic model only to find on reflection that the foundations of our practice have been laid in our autobiographies as learners. So basically, teachers, they're saying that to be critically reflective, you are basically teachers and learners. So our students' eyes, seeing ourselves through students' eyes, is one of the most consistently surprising elements in any teacher's career. Surprising elements. Seeing ourselves through students' eyes. So you teaching and you stand up in front of class and you teaching and you blah blah blah. You're going about your very day. You up there teaching the students, and but do you ever see yourself through the students' eyes, through the students' lenses? So this book is real good right here. Each time we do this, we learn something. Sometimes what we find out is reassuring. We discover that students are interpreting our actions in the sense that we intend. That they are hearing what we wanted them to hear and seeing what we wanted them to see. But often we are profoundly surprised by the diversity of meanings students read into our words and actions. Comments we made incidentally that had no particular significance to us are heard as imperatives. Answers we gave off the cuff to what seemed like incoincidental questions return to haunt us. Long after we've forgotten them, they are quoted back to us. They're quoted back to us by the students to prove that now we're contradicting ourselves. So, not going to read too much more of this, but I may get back into a little bit more of this later on. We discover our voice. We try to create classrooms that are more democratic. It's some of the topics, we see ourselves as being in continual formation. Our teaching becomes a connective activity. So basically connecting with the students and students connecting with the teachers. So I'm not going to read too much more of this book. So I'm on my hour. So then I had another book. I took another course called Networking. So Networking Essentials. So I took another course called Networking Essentials. So I'm about to wrap this up. So basically what we talked about in this course was, we talked a little bit about client server computing. Where you have two computers, you have a server and you have the client computer. So the client computer is what I have here. Regular computer, client computer gets its information from the server computer. So we have a client computer, we have the peer-to-peer computer network setup, clients and peers and servers. A server is a computer that shares its resources across the network. So you're extracting, you're working on a client computer, you're extracting your information from the server computer. And then you have, so the client is one that accesses shared resources. And then we have, a whole lot of different stuff in this book. I'm not going to go into too much of this right now. A lot of good definitions in this book too. Okay. We have the different topologies. We have the different topologies, standard topologies. We have the bus, the star, the ring. So basically this networks are computers connected together. They share information. So you call it a network. Network, you set up a network. You have 4 or 5 computers, and you might have them set up like a star topology, the ring, or the bus. So basically, each computer can share information from each other. I thought my son was coming in. Oh, hold on for a second. All right, thank you. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Well, my Amazon order, they deliver the food right to the door. So, my Amazon order, but I'm gonna short this video, and glad you all can join me. So I'm shorting this video because it's already been over an hour. The cookies I had. Well, next time I'll get into networking, but networking essential. I'll get into a little bit more next time, but basically networking. So the networking course too as well. So we talked about the different ways you can set up a network. Computers. You set up basically the layout, the star, the ring, bus topology. So you set it up in a certain way. That way, certain computers can share information from this computer, from that computer. But I'll talk more about that later. Next time, probably in the next video. So that was a good class too. Networking, I like that class. We, talk about that. I think I took only one networking course. I want to say thanks for joining me today, and I hope to see you on the next video. So remember, everything Cheryllee on all platforms. So concentrate on you're building a business, you're working on your business, concentrate on being innovative, being creative, check out, keep a track of your target market, raise your target market. Do you want to have more than one target market? That's up to you, so raise your target market. Are you, it's a lot of things, if you think about it in your business. If your business is going good, your strategies are all working. Sometimes there's no need to change, but if things are not going and customers are, not getting any sales, if that is happening in your business, then sometimes you want to change your strategies, change your strategy. Sometimes you have to rebrand, change your logos, your labels, business name, and sometimes people have a storefront, but they're not online. Sometimes if you have a storefront, then you also, get your online presence. Or sometimes you may be online and you might say, look, I want to be a storefront. So that's what I'm thinking about. I've been doing a lot of small business things, little small stuff. So also, check out my book line in the Google Play on the ebooks. So I do have my children's book writing project that my children's book writing. I mean, I guess I would call it a venture, but I can always help if you need some guidance, you need some advice, you try to work. I can deal with other books too, but mostly I deal with children's, books. That's what I write. So I had these published with digipod.com. All your book writing needs, digipod.com. Or you check out the Google Play Partner Center. Sign up in the Google Play Partner Center and then upload your books right there. That's free. But the only thing is, I think when you sell a book, I think they get something like 20% or something. I think something like that. But you don't have to pay anything. You don't have to pay for the barcode, copyright, and none of that. The Google Play Partner Center, when you upload your book, it's already, they give it the copyright. They give it copyright. You obtain your copyright when you upload it to the Google Play Partner Center. You can upload how many books you want. But first you sign up Google Play Partner Center, they have to accept you first. So when you sign up, it may take 2 or 3 days, and then once they approve you, they may send you an email. Then after that, you'll start uploading your books. The Digipod, they are very affordable. And they have a whole lot of other companies that you can publish your book with, but they, depends on what you want to do. But see, those other companies, the thing about Digipod is that there's no contract, and also they don't help you get your book on what's that, Amazon, like Amazon or different places where your book can be, seen. They don't do that. They just basically a publishing, printing company. They print your book out. But with those other companies, they probably will help you. That's probably why they charge a little bit more. So Digipod does not do that. So I was just happy just to get mine printed up because I figured I can market my own books myself. So put your marketing skills, marketing, advertising, and promoting skills to work. And Digipod. So Digipod, did a good job with my books. So I pick my own pictures. I buy my pictures from Shutterstock.com. I type my stuff in Microsoft Word, put my own pictures in, so I just have my own book. I type all this. I put my pictures in there, so all this was done in Microsoft Word. And when I submit it to the publishing company, all they do is print it out. So I say, you do all the work. You do all the work, and what they do is just print it out. So, so you do all the work. So, Shutterstock.com. So that's, my friend is happy. So, and this the other book right here. This is, Since We Are Twins. So like I said, these were printed up with these were printed with Digipod. We have autism. So these were printed with Digipod. So yep, these were printed with Digipod. So like I said, digipod.com, everything. Digipod.com, everything. Digipod, everything that digipod.com, everything. Digipod.com, everything. Everything you need to get started in writing your book. And this is my little TikTok action. So it always good, guys. I TikTok action.
Drop it to the floor, yeah. If you can dance, you can dance. Baby, I got gas. Let me see you dance, girl. Drop it low, drop it to the floor.
That's my TikTok action. Well, sometimes they take the music. That's my TikTok action too. But they took the music off of that one, but my TikTok action. So let me see what else I got. And then,
Working my nerve. God knows that I don't deserve what you put me through. Cause I've been so true to you. For you to come at me with another lame excuse. See, I heard it off you for all of your lies.
so that's my TikTok action. Let me see. I don't know why they always mess with your music.
Tell me what's wrong with you now. Tell me why I never seem to make you happy. Oh, heaven knows I try.
So, got my little TikTok action. And here I go.
I just went down in town
My
and
YouTube.
they saw all those cases back in.
I can't even see that at all.
Cases, so.
No, can't see that. It's white. Um, so, my little TikTok action. But I'm going to close out on this video. I want to say thanks for joining me today. Thanks for joining me. Glad you could be here. Glad to see you. Hope to see you on my next video. So, I want to say you all have a good one. So, I don't know what happened to the music, but I'll see you all on my next video. So, comment below, subscribe below. Let me know what you need me to talk about. If you have any terms and any ideas for me, then I don't mind doing some research. I don't mind talking about it. But follow me on TikTok at all things Cheryllee. So I just show you some of my little TikTok action videos, Instagram, everything _Cheryllee. And so you all have a good one.